to you live from Tennessee. And today we have another episode on our Zoom Up. It's our meetup on Zoom. And we are always talking about real estate investing and how that is changing people's lives all over the country, inside of our community. So much prosperity and change and growth for everyone that's involved. Of course, there are struggles. There are the ups and the downs, of course. But when you are surrounded by a lot of people who know what they're doing, have your best interest in mind, and operate through a set of principles, success is practically guaranteed, right? Nothing in life is guaranteed, but this is the next best thing. So we're happy everyone's here. We've got a lot of people here live, and for those of you catching the recording, we are part of a bigger nationwide organization of real estate investors, and today we are featuring another student. I'm joined today by my co-host. Her name is Keely. She's out of our Phoenix team. What's up, Keely?
Hey, Michael. How's it going?
It's going great. I got another awesome story to share with the folks today, so I'm glad you're here. And for those of you who are catching the recordings, there are a few more videos that you're going to want to check out after this. Whoever got you the link to this has more links for you for a few more videos. And then what you're going to want to do is set up a strategy session. We can talk about how real estate can fit into your life so you can start enjoying the benefits that we're currently receiving. So one other caveat, or one thing I'd like to mention, is you can make a boatload of money in real estate, but you can also lose a lot of money in real estate if you're not educated or using professionals. So we are highlighting a lot of our students who are making a lot of money doing this, but just be aware that there are people out in the world who are losing, and we don't want that. We want to prevent that. So we use education, support, community, systems to create more success. So our guest today, Roxy, coming out of our Utah team. She's got an amazing story. She's got a background that I think you'll find very interesting in how she came to be a full-time real estate investor here and her future projects. So I'm not going to take any more time. Let's welcome to the stage Miss Roxy Chamochumbi. Welcome. You're still on mute. Chamochumbi.
You can say chimichanga, it's okay.
Oh my goodness. Chamochumbi. Hi, Roxy.
You got it. How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome to our
Awesome.
call.
It's always a pleasure talking to you, Michael. You're the best.
Yeah, thanks.
I love you so much. You're so amazing.
Love you too. So tell the folks a little bit about your story.
Okay, yeah, very quick. I'm originally from Peru. Have single mother of 3 kids. English is my second language, as you can notice. And I came here when I was 21. I'm 42 right now. And well, it wasn't easy to start real estate because I have a family to support and all that. But I thought after working for a person that was doing commercial real estate, I find out that this is a great business to do. And I wanted to find out more about how to do it, and but I was broke at that time because after spending 2 years in Peru with my family, I came back and without money, no working for 2 years, no money. So it was tough. I had to find a job, and that's why I was telling you that in this job I learned a little bit about how to make money in real estate, but I didn't know how to do it. I mean, I knew the potential, but I didn't know how to do it. That's how I found Renatus, which was one of my first communities that I joined, trying to find a path to succeed. And I think it changed my life because I learned so much. I mean, I learned so many things that I didn't know I was capable to do, especially coming from a different country, having a different background. But I learned the power of networking, and I learned how the things that we can accomplish as our real estate investors. Like I say, it wasn't easy, but I think I'm seeing the results right now, which I'm super happy. I was able to move 3 times in 2 years, and I was living in a house 1,000 square feet, and now it's like 4,500. Still small, but I think in 2 years, being broke before for me is something that I feel happy about because it's been very hard to do, and it's been a big accomplishment for me and my family and my kids. um, just to be able to give them what they need, it's amazing. So I'm always going to be appreciated for the things that we're learning everywhere from different people or from different communities. I think knowledge is power if you apply it. And in my case, it's been just the application of everything I've been learning from you guys. So yeah, that's basically my story. I joined Renatus, I think, in December 2017. So it's going to be 3 years now. The first year is being just studying and getting to know people and how to figure out how to start the business. So
What was your previous career?
I always been an entrepreneur, so I always been doing my own businesses. So I have 2 restaurants before that, and then I was doing importing tires from Japan. And like I said, then I got sick, and so I couldn't work for a little bit. And that's where I start working for somebody else, doing some bookkeeping and finances for that company, you know. And that's how I learned a little bit of what kind of business can I start doing, and that's where my real estate career started, basically 2 3 years ago so far.
So what so you said you got sick. What happened then? Did you have to shut down the business or what did you do?
Before I went to Peru, I sold my business because I was on an emotional bad situation. I was getting a separation, and I was overwhelmed about the, business and kids and all that. So I sold my restaurant, and I went to spend Christmas with my family in Peru. I didn't want to go because I'm always like to do something, and I always busy. So my family were like, "Oh, you have to spend, it's gonna be a good time for you to spend Christmas with us." And so I went there, and I couldn't come back after 2 years, and I didn't work all that time. So all my savings, basically, I ran out of money, and I barely make it back to US, and I was behind on my mortgage. I was losing the house, my cars, the tickets. How do you say that?
Citations?
Say my cars were expired, the license plates and all that, so I didn't have money for that. But in the same time, I get good friends that help me out. Help me out in the beginning, and they were able to help me with, like, I got a friend that she said, "Hey, use my car for now until you figure something out." And that's how I started again. So that was, now that I look back, it's like, wow, you know, and I see how I am right now. It's like big change, amazing.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for that. Mhm.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the real estate deals that you're working on.
Okay, right now I've been with Kobe for the last almost a month. So I was barely. I just went to see my flips last week. After a month almost. I have 3 flips right now, and I have 2 new construction projects that we're still working on getting rezoned or zoning and get approved from the city. One in downtown is for 52 units. The projection profit that we're gonna get on that is gonna be about $2 to $3 million. And the one in Sandy, we didn't get approved for the townhouses that we were planning to do. So we're changing to do maybe 6 to 8 single houses, and we're gonna make an average of, I don't know, 150 per house, something like that. We're still looking into the new plans.
So let me ask, so because this is new to me, so how are you projecting this $2 million profit? So you're going to build up this building and then
Mhm.
sell it, or what's the plan?
Yeah, and very nice that you asked that. Sometimes I get surprised about myself when you apply the knowledge. Like I say, some people say, "Hey, I did this." I say, "Well, how can I do that?" And I was able to buy the land on seller finance. The land is costing me 1.2 million, and we did a small down payment on that, and then you entitle it and do all the, well, we're in the process of the entitlement and the architects and things like that, the projections come because we have 52 units. It's going to cost us about $7 to $8 million to build it, and we can sell it as a project, all built for 11 million at least, being conservative. But like that's what I say, between 2 to 3 million, because if we do super good, we're gonna be 3. But if we, things happen, we can do 2. So
I think that we'll still make 2 million. Holy cow!
exactly. But it's gonna take. I mean, it's not one day to another. It's gonna take at least 2 years until that happens. So in the middle, I keep doing my wholesaling business. I'm doing flips. Last year, I was able to do 10 flips at the time. I was too crazy. I more than I could handle. So I slowed down a little bit, because I'm focusing now in new construction. I'm doing more wholesaling, and so I want to keep between 5, 6 flips at the time instead of 10 or more. But you can do more if you have good contractors, so you can focus on it. So yes.
Wow, staying busy.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you like more, wholesaling or fix and flips?
Well, actually, I've been sick, like I mentioned, with COVID. So I was able to apply one of the strategies I learned, which was MLS, the MLS strategy, because I couldn't go out. I was in quarantine, and I just did like 20,000 last week in wholesale fees, just working from home and being sick. So which I like, wow, this is so easy. So I was like, I'm gonna hire somebody just to focus on probably wholesaling, because I really like new construction. I think it's exciting, something to create something and partner with people that are doing a lot of more things than you. And and bad things happens for a reason sometimes. We have an easement on the project in downtown, and because of that, I was able to meet the owners of the land, which are the owners of the Red Lion Hotel across the street from a project, and they're converting 200 apartments. The hotel they're converting into apartments.
No way.
Yeah, so they're gonna be small apartments, and I mean, we met several times now, and they are so cool. Like I see, bad things happen for a reason sometimes, because I learned that things, when we believe that things happens for us, then everything turns around and end up to be a good thing for us. So we had this problem, and I got one person on my team that was very aggressive, because they were saying, he was telling them, hey, you didn't tell us about the easement, we already spent this money, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, whoa, what happened? Because I'm so nice and I'm always talking to them. And he's like, who's this guy? So I say, I'm going to handle this, don't worry, don't. And I apologize, because he was very aggressive, and they were like, are you going to call the lawyers or something? And I say, no, hey, we're in the same business, I think we're all here to make money. Let's talk. You understand my situation. I understand your situation. Let's talk. Why we don't partner? Maybe we can partner on this deal and make it work for everybody. And they accepted the partnership.
Oh, nice.
We are still talking about how we're gonna make it work, because of course, they are used to a lot of more money, if they're being part of it. And I say, no, I just want to give you this much, and they say, well, we're gonna bring value to the deal. So after I was sick, they were able to. We had a few meetings that I had to cancel with them, and they understood I was sick. So they're like, hey, Roxy, let's talk. We really want to partner with you. So it's gonna be exciting. We still, in the process, but I mean, I'm super, super happy for these things that are happening in my life. And I just feel blessed about all these things that are coming my way,
Wow.
and I never thought it's gonna be this way when I first started, but now it's happening. So
Yeah, I mean, if you're kind of like me, when you first start, you're just hoping to pay the bills and have a little extra to eat some nice food, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes we have to change. I learned this just last week, but we have to change sometimes expectations for appreciation. So I I was talking with a friend, and they were upset because they didn't make more than $10,000 in a deal, but they make three. And they were, oh, I don't know if I want to do this anymore because I only make, I was supposed to make a lot more. Say, well, you're making 3,000, you're not losing.
Yeah.
So sometimes we need to change the expectations for appreciation. That's what I learned, because that will make us feel more positive about everything that happens to us, and the things will continue to come, in a good way. So I'm learning every day. I know we have a great community where we share stories so we can learn from each other. And I hope somebody get inspired from somebody that is out of the country, single mom, barely speak English, and still doing some deals. Um, that's my hope.
Roxy, I have a
Yes,
question for you. I'm so
yes.
inspired by your story. I
Thank you.
first met you online at one of your property tours, first when we were moving to in person to online, and I viewed one of your property tours and it was incredible. And I remember you talking then and also talking now just so casually about doing multiple deals at once and
Yes.
so casually about making millions of dollars. Were you always this ambitious, or would you say, like, when you first started working with our community, what did you start out doing and how long did it take you to build up to this level of real estate investing?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, I feel it's like surrounding with the right people, right? When I first started and I went to the first meetings in the community college, somebody was talking there about doing 5 flips at a time. And I was saying, well, if I can even do one, I'll be happy, you know? I want to do just one, but then I ended up doing 10 at the time. And I shared this with somebody and they said, you really do have 10? Say, yeah. Can I come and see him? Yeah, sure, anytime. And the next day, this person called me and she really wanted to go and see all the properties. So it took me all day to go. And I was so tired after that. I said, why she wants to do all these properties? Okay, so we went one by one. And some people, like I say casual because all I do is just to look what other people in my community is doing and say, oh, I just bought a house over $1 million and I just did this and I'm paying less than before. Oh, okay, I can do that. Yes. Where can I find a better house? And that's what I did. I did this house. I don't have credit still. Well, I pay all my debts. But now my credit, maybe I have credit right now, but I don't need it. I bought this house for seller finance on seller finance, and I'm paying less than my old house right now, like the second house that I moved. And that's amazing how you are learning from other people's example. It's like if somebody's doing something like Michael bought like a big land in somewhere, how can I do that? You get inspired and then you find a way, because you have the knowledge, you have the people there that you can say, how do you do this? Okay, maybe first decide what you want to do, where you're looking at. I mean, if you're looking at Michael all the time, then you will find what's he doing, and I want to do the same or better. Not to get a competition, but it's my inspiration. I want to do that too. Why not? So that's and then when I first started, I saw this person doing multifamily and building, refinancing, and selling and making millions of dollars. So I know he did it. So I just want to do the same. Now I'm partnering with these other guys that are doing the hotels. I want to learn from them, even if I'm making less money, that's okay. The relationships are so important for me. So if I'm able to build that the relationship with them, I'm sure I'm gonna start probably in the future start making hotels just like them, because my purpose is to have the relationship and learn from them, fill out all these gaps. That I don't know everything, and I'm always in the position. I position myself that I don't know everything. I'm still learning. You know, Maestron just called me on his podcast for next 2nd December, I think, and he said, "Roxy, you're doing so." I say, "I'm just learning. I mean, I'm just starting, right?" I know a lot of people that are doing a lot more things, and I feel just so small because I'm always looking up and say, "Wow, I need to learn more." Right, and that's always my spirit of being able to feel like we don't know everything, that we're learning, and then we're looking to the next person, how can I do this better? And looking at the other person, okay, he's doing this, how can I find a way to do it? That's it. I mean, and if I change and say, oh, I'm doing 10 houses, or I know this, I already got it, then I'm sure I'm gonna be stuck
Right.
because we don't know anything,
You
you
got to
know?
stay coachable.
Exactly.
So you mentioned that you have some kids. This is my last question before we wrap it up. Do you have your kids involved in your business, and how do you talk to them about what you're doing?
They are, because when I was doing driving for dollars, and it was in winter, I remember, say, I'll give you $5 if you find me a house. So we're driving and I'm looking, doing my leads, and my kids in the back. And because they get bored, if you're driving for 1 hour or two, they get, Mom, we want to go home. They say, hey, if you find me a house, I'll give you $1 or $5 or whatever. And they're, Mom, there's a house over there. There's a house over there. So every time I'm driving, they already, if they look sell by owner sign or something all,
Yeah.
and I'm even distracted. They're already, Mom, there's a house. Go around. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, that's the way I figured out the best way to, get them excited about, instead of boring, about my business. I still have uh, can make it happen. Like, and they understand. I say, I need to work, and they understand. They're very mature on that. They say, okay, Mom, and they respect that. So
How old are they?
9, 8, and 5.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Wow. Well, imagine what they're going to be like as entrepreneurs as they grow up. How exciting.
Yeah, my son, he said he wants to build houses, so I'm happy for that. Hopefully, he keeps that for the future when
Yeah.
he grows up. And I said, wow, that would be awesome. He can help me and do this. And I'm also going to try to help them, because that's the best way to make money. I mean, if you know how to do it step by step, it's just the matter of you doing it and getting the results that everybody else is having, you
Yeah.
know, believe in the system,
That's
basically.
right. And we got an amazing system here, and you're
Mhm.
a big part of that. So thank you very much for spending some time with us so we can get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you,
And
guys.
yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah. So, folks, if you're catching this recording or you're here live with us, it is now your opportunity to get on a call with us, a strategy session, figure out how you can start taking advantage of these benefits. We have a couple more workshops coming up on Saturdays as well. And most of what we're doing here is by invitation only. It's not open to the public. So you'll want to get these private registration links so you can see behind the scenes what we're doing. We're an open book. You can ask any kinds of questions. So I want to give a big thanks to my co-host Keely for being here with us. And any final words or thoughts, Keely?
I'm just loving how humble Roxy is. She's clearly very successful, but it's just her mindset around just always being open to learning and looking up to those who are leading the way is just very inspiring. So thanks for being here with us, Roxy.
Thank
All
you.
right, folks. Well, congratulations again, and we will see you on another episode. Have a great day.